Look at all the people coming in here.
Yeah, it looks like Sunday at the zoo. Gotta hang up a sign saying, please do not feed the soldiers. You see your father?
Yeah, he's up with the CO getting reacquainted.
So's mine. Took another war to get those guys together again.
There's a lot of mothers and sweethearts in that mob.
And speaking of sweethearts, get a load of that military objective approaching us. Shall I trip her?
Hey, take it easy, Yardbird. The young lady happens to be a friend of mine.
Hello, Johnny.
Hello. I didn't expect to see you here.
Neither did I.
Look, Tommy, why don't you take a ride, and I'll see you later.
Okay, maybe I'll pick up an MT.
Well, what brings you way up here in the sticks?
Well, Dad came down to the old-timers reunion, and he insisted that I come along at the last minute.
Sit down.
Thanks.
How do you like my new home?
It's big enough. Well, what do you think of the Army by now?
Swell.
How do you feel about things?
I'm more in love with you than ever. I'm more than ever convinced there's a job that has to be done before we can even consider anything else.
Johnny, don't you realize that if all men felt like you, there wouldn't be any more families? There wouldn't be any more world.
Honey, you're so unreasonable.
I'm not unreasonable.
We're in a war. And until it's over, our private lives must just stand still.
Does that mean we're supposed to stop living?
Is Johnny Jones private citizen? Yes. I'm Corporal Jones. I don't know how long it'll take to get back to being Johnny Jones private citizen. But until I am, I don't intend to leave anyone on my conscience back home. That's only logic.
All right, Johnny, you win. After the war is the time for taking a wife. But you'll have to find a wife first.
Well, boys, here we are. I wanted to conduct this little tour personally. This is where Yip Yip Yap Hank was born. Remember?
Who could forget, sir?
A million years ago, it seems like.
Seems like it was only yesterday to me. I was quite a man in those days, I thought.
You certainly were mean to me and my bugle.
Well, you know, you didn't do us any favors blowing that thing at 5:30 every morning.
Same old spirit after 23 years.
Well, we're a couple of years older, Colonel, but there's some things about the Army you never forget.
Very true.
That's right.
Hey, fellas, look at this. The same old kitchen, just like it used to be.
For little me, I'm a KP. I scrub the mess hall on my bended knee. Against my wishes, I wash the dishes. I didn't remember it then. I don't remember it now.
You know, your voice hasn't improved with age either.
Say, fellas, look. Here's a list of the old gang.
Well, what do you know? I'd forgotten about this. Yip, Yip, Yap Hank, the names of all the men in the show. There's Marty Brennan, killed in action in the Argonne. And this fellow in here, Peterson, I don't remember him.
You remember the gray-eyed kid from Texas opened the grocery store?
Oh, yes.
He's gone.
Hey, there's my name. I put it on when you fellas weren't looking.
Remember Dopey Mulligan who knew he'd get killed?
Yes?
He's now an undertaker in Des Moines.
No.
Yeah!
And there's Johnny Murphy. Remember that skinny little kid used to be dancing all the time? I wonder whatever happened to him.
Here I am, and I'm still hoofing.
Johnny, you look like the kid that swiped the watermelon.
You should see Doc Klonsky if you want to get a laugh. He combs his hair with a towel.
No. Yes, indeed, it was a good show.
It was a great show. So were the men in it. That was some war, too, the old war.
Yeah, that was the war to end all wars. And now we've got a new one. Well, what are we waiting for? A new war or a new show?
I knew it! Sir.
Well, Jerry, what do you say? Will you help?
Sure, I'll help. It'll be something fine for the boys to remember because I'm afraid there'll be a lot of it that they'll want to forget. Incidentally, Colonel, it just reminded me. I've got a son right here at the camp's got a little talent. Maybe we can use him.
I've got one, too.
I've got one, too.
Hey, what's the matter with my boy?
What
about us old-timers? We ought to be in it, too.
That's it. We ought to do an old-timers number. What do you think, fellas?
Right,
Great
idea.
Well, how about it, Murph?
Let's go.
Murph is ready. I'll tell you what we can do. We'll do the number we did in the last show. Do you remember the old close order drill we used to do with the dance steps? You fellas all line up, you know, just like you did on the stage. And when the band starts to play, I'll step down front and Well, we'll figure the number out so you fellas can do it without me. I'll be busy anyhow backstage.
What do we call the show?
Yip, 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 bang for second. No, Max, that's no good. It's a new war, a new show. We've got to have a new name.
Well, why not state the simple fact? This is the Army.
What do you think, fellas?
Great.
That's a great time. That's it. This is the Army.
Corporal Oxford and Private Joe Cook, Jr. Yes, sir. Corporal Oxford.
Yes, Sergeant.
Private Cook.
Yes, Sergeant.
Report to Captain Franks. You're going in the Army Relief Show.
Sergeant Stone,
Coming, Lieutenant.
you're going to be in the Army show.
Yes, sir. We'll have this tank right out. What show?
It's for Army Emergency Relief.
Yes, sir. Corporal Mitchell speaking, sir.
Oh, that's great. I mean, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sydney. Hey, Sydney. Yeah? After this run, report to Lieutenant James. Private Vance. Yes, sir. Yeager. Yes, sir. Anderson.
Yes, sir.
Report to Captain Bowie. Corporal Truex.
Yeah?
Report to the CO right after this trip. Corporal Barker. You will be on detached service with the Army Emergency Relief Show.
Allen Brothers, report to the orderly room immediately after the firing.
Sergeant Joe Lewis, after the bout is over, report to the orderly room.
Report to headquarters immediately. Private Christiani, Private Steiner. Change to ODs and report to the orderly room.
Corporal Perry. Report to your company commander. Minnie. When you finish with that, report to the orderly room.
Private Podolsky, report to the orderly tent.
Yes, sir.
Pack your equipment. We're leaving for New York to join the Army show.
Yes,
sir.
Well, that's all there is to tell you about the show. And I'm quite sure that you're all fully aware that this is for a vitally important cause. As to your conduct in this detail, remember that you're still in the Army. And every theater in which you work becomes an Army post in the strictest sense. You will continue to receive your military training before and after performances. For your military duties, you'll be commanded by Sergeant McGee. In command backstage will be Corporal Jones. Take over, Sergeant.
I've had strict orders from the colonel not to use any profanity today. So I can't tell you what I think about Army shows. Company! Attention! Right, face! Forward! March!
This sure cooks me up, Brown. I lose my girl with a flag-waving speech about a job to be done before I can marry her. And what's the job? Helping put on a show.
Shut up back there!
There's one of the nicest guys ever born.
That guy wasn't born, he was issued.
Did I say shut up or did I?